Well, I'm about ready to paint all those inners.
Yeah.
I'm debating.
Yeah.
Gonna use black sealer. I'm hoping it doesn't change the look of the color.
We don't have gray.
We do, but the floor is going to be getting that trunk spatter paint.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and that's black.
Yeah. And
Well, we can't. Oh, yeah.
I can save you a lot of time and money if I spray it all with black sealer.
Well, why don't you just spray it all with white sealer because it's going black on top of it. It's going to hide
Because
it.
when I spray the trunk spatter paint, you're going to see the white through, and we won't have
Oh,
enough
yeah?
material. I have to do many, many more coats.
Okay.
So thinking of you and going black, the only place there may be a subtle difference is when you open the door jam on
Let's
the
look at the spray out card. Is it still on the wall?
Of course it is. Highly organized individual like myself, I would put them right here.
Despite the environment.
Okay, I do not see any difference, Blair,
In what?
Take it out there.
between the black and the white. You?
Yeah, because the stuff covers really freaking well.
So I don't
What are you
think.
talking about?
Okay,
this
these
is
cards are
squares.
black and white squares. So what do they call it? The
Black and white.
Yeah, but I mean, but what's the? There's a technical name for it. The
Value shade?
Value shade.
I don't think. Yeah.
So basically, you can put a light primer underneath it or dark primer.
Oh.
But this paint, I mean, 3 coats, and you can't tell if it's. Can you tell which square was black and which square
Well,
was white?
point out where the squares are.
We're
Try
here.
one.
Yes, we'll do this. This is very technical here. Okay. Because sometimes, like the orange paint, it made a difference.
Oh, it
for
did?
for the Road Runner. Okay, there's your value shade. See?
I don't understand.
So you spray this paint over it, and normally, if it doesn't,
Oh, so where are the black and the white? Point it
yes.
out.
Well,
So
okay.
the
See,
black, white,
Yeah.
white. Okay.
right?
Now on some colors, you would see.
See the difference.
You see through. Yeah.
But this stuff covers so good, you can't see the difference. So it doesn't really matter if we use white under it or black under it. It should be the same color is what we're saying. So that's why Blair's arguing to paint all the underside black, then it's just one color instead of doing the jams in white.
And the difference would be subtle. With some colors, you would definitely see a lighter green or a darker green.
Because the orange
Yeah.
went redder on the Roadrunner because we went black under it, and it made it a darker, more red than orange color.
Interesting.
Well, but that's the value shade. But with this stuff, I mean, it's, for how light it is, it colors like a mother.
Covered really well. Okay, I'm masking this up. I was gonna paint the trunk floor first. You'd get the spatter paint, but that can take a couple days to dry before I can mask it to do my door jambs green. Same as the floor of the body. I was going to go with box liner. Mike wants that. Good idea. But I can't mask it for a couple days. So I'm painting all the green on the dash, door jamb, trunk jam, inner top rails, the belt line. Gonna paint all that green today. That stuff is dry enough, I can come in Sunday and I'll already have my epoxy on the floors. So if everything works right, I'll do box liner on the floor and then I'll swap over and do my trunk spatter paint at the same time. That means before I do that, I'll have to mask up all the green that I'm painting today. That's all right. I gotta blow the hell out of it still. And I still have to cover up the front of the frame. I got some overspray on the frame. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, but we sandblasted, we repaired the frame, we got our epoxy on it, we got our protective paint on it, the drag to get overspray on it, but I can touch up over that. That's not a big deal. At least all the bare metal got epoxy. So now I'll have to clean up my overspray. So right now what I have left is to mask off the frame rails, hang paper down, plastic over the front, and then I go over by hand and make sure everything is ready. I haven't missed anything. Cassidy did an awesome job of getting the seam sealer on all the seams. Yeah, this goes pretty quick. I'm hoping by Monday that I get enough of this done that when Cassidy shows up Monday, the two of us can hang all the panels back on the car. Suspension should be here Monday, so I put the front suspension, rear suspension. I mean, we got to get going on this. And then while I finish suspension, Cassidy can do the final 320/400 grit on the outside, and hopefully we can paint the outside of this next week. First choice is not always to work weekends, but a little bit necessary right now, and not a big deal. I'll get a freaking month off while he's gone. So carry on. Sealer is dry to touch. Got the paint in the gun. Phone Cassidy, went, how the hell did I mix this? She told me. So I'm gonna start, I'm just doing the jams, not the floors. So here we go. I'm gonna give it probably 3 coats. There's lots of angles. The easiest thing to mess up here, the easiest way to mess up, is to not get complete coverage. We have inside the gaps around the trunk. We have around the hinges, both sides. It's very difficult to fit your gun into all these spots. We're going to do our best, and we'll see how it goes. So, doing inners. You can see on the bit light color on the baffle, the bulkhead behind the back seat. You can see some darker areas. What's important here is that we got good coating of epoxy. It seals up all the steel and it's not going to start rusting, right? And then we put the color on it. Paint's pretty freaking expensive. So, I'm not too concerned. I've got a coat on there, it's green. If it's on the outside of the car, I'll do another coat on that part. I don't want to run out of paint. It's going to have a clear coat, it's protected, it's got epoxy, it's good. But the more I spray in here, the more chance I run of shooting dust up. And so far, dust-wise, it's looking pretty good. So, I mean, even painting around in all this front galley where the wiper arms are, it's all just a disaster waiting to happen for dust. So, I'm painting where I have to paint. I got epoxy everywhere. The door jams look good. I'm happy with that. In the trunk, I've got a little bit of green overspray and clear. I'm hoping that won't be a problem before I put my splatter paint in the trunk, which I'll show you when I do that hopefully tomorrow. I may have to lightly scuff this, but I'll have to cover up all this green and clear, and then I'll leave the car masked up just as it is. I'll cover up this green paint, and then I'll go ahead and I'll use box liner on the interior floor, and splatter paint out here, which is an original look. It's really freaking cool. So, it ends up I worked a bit late, but I gained a day by getting this done because I can do the other 2 products tomorrow. And that'll be excellent. Yeah, I'm digging that dash. Now, most of that dash is covered by upholstery, but it looks pretty freaking cool. So we've got rid of the rust, we've coated everything. Monday, we should be putting panel dig this color. Excellent choice.
Morning, guys. It's Sunday morning, June 23rd. We're down to 26 days left before we'd like to be doing a test drive. That gives us about a week to break the car in. As you can see, it's no longer on the hoist. Took a little bit of finagling, but yesterday we got it into the booth. Morning, Blair. Didn't you ever hear the old axiom, Sunday's a day of rest?
Yeah.
But then there's also the other one, no rest for the wicked.
It's just the start of the rest of the week.
Yes. So anyway, Blair, yesterday we got it all primered, epoxy primered, the floor, the trunk. I laid some color here so you can actually, ooh, look at that. I mean, it's a lot greener than what it looks on the video, guys. I don't know why, just the light in here or the iPhone, it makes it look grayer, but it's actually a lot greener, a lot of silver. I think in the sun it's gonna look pretty damn spectacular. What do you think, Blair?
Oh, yeah, I freaking love this color.
Yes. So anyway, I managed to pick a good one, don't know how, sheer fluke.
Because it's the same color as,
A 63 Impala SS.
or a 71
Kia, was it Kia or Hyundai?
rear engine Porsche.
Well, it looks like it, but yes, but I mean, it's the closest match they could get to was a 2011
No.
Kia? Was it Kia or Hyundai?
Hyundai.
Now I forget. Hang on. We saved it. We saved it. Tell me we saved the paint. We saved the recipe. Anyway. Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai. So basically, the closest code they could get to what we gave them at NBR was a 2011 Hyundai called Kiwi Green. But basically, the formula was almost the exact same as what Chevy did for their 63, 64 Meadow Green, Laurel Green.
Yes, they would call it closest sprayable match.
Ah, it's a CSM.
Oh my word.
Closest sprayable match. Anyway, it's early, but we did just have breakfast. So anyway, Blair is gonna mask off everything that he painted yesterday, and we are gonna do box liner on the floor
Yes.
for durability.
Yeah.
And then we've got like basically the old matching, what do you call it? Textured spray for the trunk.
Splatter paint.
Splatter. Splatter and get at her. So anyway, that's what Blair's up to this morning. I'm gonna go look for some front end parts because our buddies at Speed Tech, apparently all our suspension, our new suspension is showing up tomorrow, and so that'll be the outside corners we've got to go across. So we've got a new steering box. Hopefully we have the drag link and all the rest of that, tie rods sitting out in a box from another project that we didn't complete. So
Probably wrong.
oh, Blair,
Yeah,
you're correct.
I thought so.
Hang on. Okay, wait a sec.
This is the
These
splatter
are
paint.
1,000K total.
It's a spray can. I know, it's embarrassing. But it looks amazing. And factory. Oh, yeah. And there you have it. Okay, so I have my bolt somewhere. Wait, he's supposed to have a master kit.
Yeah.
Now's the time we gotta start using them. Now with little black bolts, I was gonna spray them.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens if you don't spray them. I've always sprayed them.
Do you just spray the black or do you spray body color?
Oh no, not body color on this one. I talked to you about it. If I was at home, I'd use stainless.
Yeah.
But for this, I'll get that master kit, and then we do have the original bolts for the doors. I had them in a bag. Where did I put them? So I'm going to give a super exciting talk about adjusting doors, because everyone will be wondering, why does it take you so long for? Oh jeez.
Well, that's one of the reasons it takes you so long.
Good point, Cass. So why do doors take so long? If you want your door, if you want the back to come up, you loosen these 3 bolts on the front hinge and slide it forward. Or you can move it backwards and drop the back end of the door. Same down here. When you put these hinges on, they have a lot of movement. And so you could put the hinges on where now they don't line up with the holes in the door. There's lots of movement in them. The door bolts, of which there's 3, upper and 3 lower, I'll show you. These bolts in here, 1, 2, 3. There's one up in here, 2, 3. They adjust the door in, and back out. They also have room to go up and down as well. Now, if you just wanted to lower the back of the door, you could put shims in here. Now, if a car was fully assembled with fenders, that would be your quickest, easiest way. Just a shim under here and drop the back of the door. But it tightens up your door gap. So, there's 6 different ways this door can move. And if you do it wrong, when you close the door, you chip the paint down here, or any one of a number of places. So when you look at what I got here, the door is too low. It's way out at the bottom, and it's flush at the top. It's in at the top here. So there's 16 different adjustments here. That's what's taking me so long. And what I'll tell Mike when he goes, what the hell's taking so long, right?
What the hell's taking so long?
Yeah, well, that's why. Never drill 1/8-inch holes to line up your freaking hinges.
However, you can take a little bit of a scribe after you get the perfect, and you could scribe around your hinges before you paint.
You could. You'd be wrong, but you could.
I've scribed myself.
Because when we finally set the doors, we set them just a bit high, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's because once you put the glass in, it all has more weight in it and it sits lower. I have worked at shops where after they get the hinges lined up perfectly, they drill an 1/8-inch hole. So when they go to put it back on, they just put a nail or an 1/8-inch drill bit through that, and they know it's exactly where it was. I've been there when they drill 3rd hole, because every time you put the car together,
It's different.
it might be sitting different, you have more stuff in the car, more weight. Scribing is probably the best idea of the ones I've heard.
Well, scribing at least after you put it back together, if you need to get rid of your scribe, you just hit it with the sandpaper. You
Sure.
scribe from.
Yeah, no, that's a good system. So this takes a while to make it just right. Okay, excuse me. Well, that's pretty freaking good. I think it's all right.
Huh?
I think it's all right. I so like having this whole door painted. It just looks so much better during assembly, right?
It does, yeah.
Instead of saving $5 on paint. I just think I gotta move the bottom end just
Just the hair.
well, no, I'm happy there. This is the problem right here. See this? It's only up here. So I think that's a matter of me sizing it. I'll dip it in. I'm worried about I should move the door a little higher because right now it's perfect. And I got a good bottom gap. But this is where I think with the glass in there I'm gonna sit too low. Where I should move that top hinge ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard to say because like you kind of want it, like we could always adjust it up a little bit.
I can't later because the fender covers the hinge bolts. This is my dilemma. So this is perfect. Nice height. But when we, wait a minute, can you, yeah. So the problem being once we add glass and upholstery, it might sit a hair low. So even though it's lined up perfectly, I need to go move this top hinge ahead so that this ends up sitting about like that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy there. And I'm gonna put a striker in there. We don't get the weather striker until
You're
later
happy.
today.
It's happy.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay. Brand new e-brake cable. This is inside the vehicle. So I'm going to try to hammer a wrench over it, flatten them down on the old one, so I can get it out of the car. This can be pretty tough. Right here. Okay. Oh, look at that. We're almost there. I bet there's one on the back. So close. Seems like it's going. Hey, hey. Now, I'll put the new one in. Well, I suppose I should have put it in nose first. I guess maybe I will. I think, oh, hey, wait a minute. Moron. I had the handle depressed. Oh my gosh. Now I'm depressed. Jeez. What is wrong with me?
Monday.
Too much heat.
Case of the Monday.
Hey, that's way easier. Look at that, eh? Oh my gosh. The fenders are on. Hood sitting in place, has to be lined up. Bit of a battle getting those fenders back on where I'm happy with the gaps. But we got her. So that's about it for today. Hockey game tonight. Gotta go watch that.
The next day.
So here I am. I want to put the weather stripping in the doors, so that while we're blocking doors, we're not chipping paint. So we have these awesome weather strips that come complete with the clips on it. So I'm going to try to get them into the door, and hopefully we have the blocks, the bumpers as well. So I'm going to stick them on right now. This is something I recommend you do before the door is on the freaking car. But these parts never came in until last night. So I'll try to get these on now. Okay. Which side? Oop. Wait a minute. Okay. This door. No. Okay. These are really important. Door bumpers, glove box bumpers, all the little bumpers. Right on.
We gotta get ready to spot prime this vehicle tonight, the 64 Malibu. So I'm just gonna start blowing her off, and then we're gonna bag and master some spot primer.
I've had a few burn throughs. Areas that aren't good enough. Cassidy and I have been going over it all day. I'm pretty happy. It might be good enough. But to be sure, we're going to spot prime about 4 areas. And I bolted the car back together with the suspension. I had to move hinges. Changed my lineup on the front fender. I'm very happy about it. It's not a big deal. It costs me time. So I'm going to do a quick math. I'm hoping my friend paint and body shows up here in a little bit. Help me finish masking this. And I can just give a few spots a touch up. So, I'm gonna bag the whole car, cut out the areas where we want to spot black, mask the perimeter of both holes with paper, and then I can quickly spot prime, and I actually save an entire day this way, because tomorrow morning it'll be dry, and we can come back in and sand some more. And then I will be happy enough with it that I believe tomorrow night we will be preparing to mask it for painting. And then the three of us should only take 2-3 hours to mask up if we're lucky. It's quite a job masking properly. And I'll show you that and try to explain a few things that are important. Good masking is vitally important. So, I think, you know, underneath the painted, door jambs are painted, trunk's painted, inside here is done, inside the trunk is done. I don't want any overspray getting in there messing it up, where I have to do, redo, 3-do, or Blair do. So, this is what I'm up to right now, and I'll carry on with the masking. Cassidy improved on my lines here. I had it disappearing a bit too sooner. She's checked out the old car and the other side anyhow. So I've got a prime right up to an edge of the panel. And this, it was all right, but it just wasn't quite there. So I'm gonna open the door and you run your paper inside the door. So I'm gonna run masking paper in here and cover that, and the same in here. I don't want any freaking overspray in there. So I'll do that before I put the plastic down tight. And it's the hardest time to work because, of course, I stopped to have supper. Now I do not feel too motivated. But by putting in a couple hours tonight, I absolutely save a day. No, that's not cool. I just gotta sand it. Do I? And it never ends. Even when you think it's all perfect, there's always something. And I mean, you can always improve. You can always make it just a little bit better. So, as Cassidy says, you have to learn to work to the client's budget, but also you have to learn, in order for your reputation to stay solid, you don't want to do a bunch of low budget jobs and people think that's all you're capable of. So, you got to do that dance. Do a job that you're happy with. And sometimes, like even in my shop, my time, the job I need to turn out, I can't do it on the budget available for the client. And that's cool. They can spend less money, nothing wrong with that. But I will have to hand them the phone number to someone who's not making a career out of it, or maybe just wants to make a few bucks on the side. And we can absolutely do a job that that client will be very happy with. And be very honest and straight with them. That's just how we treat. It's like any trade. So the budget decides a lot of things. So now I'm safe, I won't get any overspray. I'm going to do the same thing here. Ooh. Yeah, I gotta put tape on the inside of the door handle opening. I definitely can get paint in there that will come in and mess up this. But I did check. There. totally safe. Now, roll a 3/4 inch. Okay. Plastic where to stop, and I will put paper on this. When you're using this paint gun, all this starts splashing around and fall on the paint. Your first coat dries on here, and then it flutters, and the dry flakes land on it. You gotta surround it by paper to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh, I did stuff this door jamb with paper before I closed the door, so overspray won't get in there. Bodywork was finished at 240, some of it 400. Tomorrow, I get this done tonight. 3 of us will be here to hand block it to 400. I feel a lot better now going to sleep, knowing tomorrow he finishes off. I'm hoping to get the suspension and get it sitting down on the wheels. But if I don't, I'll finish blocking and paint the car. Freaking fingers crossed. I think we're going to be alright on this. Cassidy got this quarter line freaking perfect. Door's good now. A little bit of blocking. Basically it was straight. That's 1 coat of primer on most of it. It's good enough. It's not going to take much.
Okay, so last night, here we're at, guys, 23 days till countdown. Let's just shrink this down. So last night, Blair did a plastic wrap here. Thought he was making sandwiches. We had to do a little bit of spot priming. So basically, right now, we're just gonna unmask all this. Get right in there, John. Don't be shy. We'll let you. Remember, here at Rust Brothers, abuse is free. You have unlimited abuse. Ooh. And then we'll let you, as an impartial third party, critique Blair and Cassidy's work for us. What do you? Yeah. What do you think of the color, John?
I like the color.
It's an actual original '63 Chevy color. It's called meadow green. It was meadow green, laurel green, but the closest. What's the word you used, Blair?
Closest sprayable match.
But the closest sprayable match is a 2011 Hyundai color called Kiwi Green. But I used to have a '63 Impala SS, and it looks almost exactly like this color. The film, the camera does not do it justice how beautiful it is. It makes it, because like when you shoot it through the camera, like it makes it look gray.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It doesn't show the color, but I think this in the sunshine is gonna pop, so. Like you can see, John, you see this line here? See that weld line? That's the only metal we didn't change from here to there.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a quick little dine and dash sort of rebuild.
Patina finish.
Yes, yeah, patina. But then once we put the green, we had a green clip, the car was blue. Once we put the green clip on, I knew the plans had changed. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so what do you think, John? Cast your professional eye on it. We love it when people critique their work.
I think it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we all love it when someone comes in your shop and does this.
Yeah. Well, you know the problem that we never realized until we started working on this car? How many body lines a 64 Chevelle has. It's insane.
This does have a lot of freaking body.
It's like, it's just,
These front fenders suck because this is like, it's got like this like 2-inch flat strip.
yeah, you've got like a, right? It just, so one line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 lines, 5 lines,
line too?
6 lines, 7 lines, like 7, 8 body lines. Yep. Anyway,
Gone over it a few times there. But today, I'm hoping that we start masking. Like we do our final 400, it's perfect. And then we can mask and shoot it in the morning.
yes, I'm looking forward to it. Bringing out they actually made us a new gun.
Yeah.
There's
Who made you a new gun?
SATA, our buddies at SATA made us a new gun, and it's called the Russ Bros gun.
Beautiful.
Anyway.
There's my picture on it, right?
No, it has my picture on it. Their smiling face is on the gun. Anyway, but we still have our brand new, almost new board and stroke models. So anyway, it's coming along, guys. Like I said, hopefully tomorrow we'll be spraying some color on it. Wow. I'm gonna make some phone calls and find out where our suspension is. You know, Blair, I hate to admit it, but you do good work, but just not for cheap. It's looking great. Yes, anyway, we're in a good mood here at Rust Brothers this morning. Lincoln's all fat and happy. He's going to supervise, bite anybody that's not working hard enough.
This is so cool. I had no idea how good I was. I had no idea how wide the molding was. That's good. So we just have to neaten it up. Actually, you did a good job.
Yeah, I already.
Wow. Okay. Awesome job.
Cass, what's happening this morning? You and John, we have our fresh meat John here. He's gonna give Cass a hand.
Oh, there's Lincoln taking his bed away.
Oh, Lincoln's taking his bed away to go do the mowing down and the gumming. Gum that thing, Lincoln. You gum that. So anyway, John has volunteered to come and assist us. Hopefully he can pick up Blair's slack. I'm not allowed to touch the car at this stage for reasons that will remain nameless. But anyway, so what's the plan, Cass?
Well, we're just gonna do a final walk around and blow the hell out of this booth and this car and clean up everything inside, and then we're gonna get to masking and then make sure all of our edges are nice and sanded and hopefully get this ready to paint by the end of the day.
Does that sound like a plan, John?
Sounds like a plan to me.
John's from Midnight Paint. John's from Midnight Paint and Auto Body, good friend of Blair's.
On YouTube and stuff.
Oh yeah, YouTube, check it out. Anyway, we're blowing some smoke up his tires too, just because we can, but she's come a long way, babies, from what we drug in the shop a couple months ago. Can hardly wait to see all this lovely green in the sun. It is truly spectacular. Anyway, I'll get out of the way and let you guys have at her. Hopefully by the end of the day, she will be gleaming and green.
Alright, now that the car is all blown off, basically ready to go with panel by panel and mask it. First up, you got just your regular 3M automotive finishing masking tape. You want to make sure that you're using a tape that's solvent resistant. This 3M brand is my favorite tape. It's very sticky and it's very easy to bend around corners and stuff like that, but also is really good for keeping a straight line. This tape's a little bit thicker than some of the other stuff out there, which is really nice. And then another thing we use is this foam tape. And so this is just sticky on one side, it's got a little bit of sticky glue, and this is basically just like a sponge. But this is really easy for shoving in between your door and your fender gap, different gaps like that. You can stick the sticky backing to like one side of the fender or whatever, and you can shove it in there. This stuff works really good, not very sticky. So there's that, and then there's a lot of other different places that you can use this when masking the vehicle. And then we got our typical fine line tape. So normally we would tape all of our edges with fine line, well, depending on what you're doing, or if you're masking stripes or anything like that, you'd want to use fine line. Generally, you tape everything up and then you run your fine line last, so that after you're done spraying a clear coat, you're able to peel the fine line tape up off of the rest of your masking, and that leaves you with like a nice rolled clear edge. You do it when it's still pretty much wet, and you get a nice clean cut rolled edge. But what we've been using more frequently now, especially in our door jambs and stuff, because we've already painted door jambs and now we're going to paint the outside of the car, so it always leaves a clear edge. And so we have this stuff, this is called transition tape, and so this tape is only sticky down the center, and on both sides it's basically just like a vinyl overhang. So when we put this on the door jamb, and same thing, we would want to put this over top of your other masking. So when we put this in the door jamb, all the clear that's hit from this side, or whatever side you're spraying your clear from, is going to get under this edge just a little bit, and we do a nice gradient edge so you don't have a super sharp clear line if you're trying to get away or trying to like hide where your clear line is. So this stuff is really handy. And then we'll also be using our masking paper, obviously, and our masking plastic. Another thing to keep in mind when you're looking for masking paper is that it has to be solvent resistant. There's lots of masking papers out there that aren't. So if, let's say, I've run into this before, where let's say I'm doing a two-tone and I have papered off the one color and sprayed the bottom and the solvents leak through and messed up the base behind. So make sure that you're using like a waxed layered masking paper that's solvent proof, so that you know that anywhere where your masking paper is you're not going to have bleed through. And then after we're done taking everything out, we'll throw the plastic bag over it, and it should be ready. I'll go over some more masking techniques with you guys once we get started here.
Hey, John, seeing you.
Got paper all around the bottom.
Oh, God. Generally, if I haven't seen you in a while and get to hang out for a while, I feel just like this, but I'm not sick. Right, back in the day.
You were just taking advantage of getting a rest.
Yeah, that's now really clear. Right on. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess seeing you're working by yourself, you can put the paint job on Midnight Paint and Body YouTube. You call it another one of your paint jobs. Right? You can mask it up. I don't know what we call that with subcontractors.
Maybe, you call it the, I don't know, for once, the night shift elves showed up.
Hey, that's not bad, that's great. I woke up and the car was ready to paint. Thank God for the elves. Oh, you don't like where that's going.
Yeah, right.
Ugh. Blue orders a new coil for her bike. She found one on Amazon, $43. She didn't get that one.
Yeah. It's amazing what's on Amazon. Who knew they made all that stuff in the jungle?
Yes. Yeah. Good point. So she went to the dealer. She's picking up the part tomorrow. It's a dual fire, so nothing weird about it.
Yep.
Not the ignition, just the coil. How many years you got in the trade now?
Since I was 17, so 34.
Wow. Kind of thinking you're gonna stick with it?
No, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do sound like a buddy. And I think you're right, too, which is a better idea on that.
Funny, when I'm not paying for my own tape, I just use it all willy-nilly.
Now, isn't that the truth?
Yep.
This 2-inch is not cheap.
No, none of this tape is cheap. Nothing in this trade is cheap.
No, I've been paying, I think I'm paying $6 for one now for 3/4.
Yeah.
I got really pissed off and went, are you kidding me? Because I hadn't bought anything for a couple of years. Because I was here.
I have found a brand of tape that I quite like on Amazon, and I buy the sleeve off there. It's really, I don't remember what it costs. It's not super cheap, but it's a lot less than 3M tape, so.
You don't know what brand?
I'll have to look it up and show
I've been
you.
using American. Now, Scott from Pat's Automotive in Grand Prairie, when I talked about the price of tape, he said, well, this minute, Larry, grab a chunk of your tape and grab a chunk of this tape. So, okay, see when you pull this tight, let me grab a chunk of 3/4 just to make sure. You showed me a 3/4. So when you're going to mask an edge or a line, when you grab the expensive tape, it curves up in the center when you pull it tight.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're laying it down, you can easily, you just set that edge on your line. This stuff is curved the other way, it's just ever so slightly. So it's way harder to lay an edge because the middle touches before the outside edges do.
Yeah, you're saying that's doing that, that's the,
This one isn't working like the
that's the three Michaels tape?
This is, no,
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
yeah. That's what he showed me was the difference. And I went, fine, I'll spend the money. I'm under protest.
Yeah.
So,
See, I'm more like, okay, that's $5, that's $1, I like this one.
well, you can make it work, right? We can adapt and overcome. Let's see if this is big enough to go around once.
Oh, excuse me. So you want to just keep this outside edge exposed on?
Just the outside edge.
Okay.
Yep, you bet.
Oh, yeah, these have a big chrome in there and molding, you'll see any of that.
Exactly, right? Doug, the guy who was here, used to live down in Field of Dreams.
Oh, okay.
Junkyard dog, people down there and things.
Dreams.
I tell you, I kind of miss that place. You know, there was always an extra cutter,
Right.
or at least a reference, like how does it go? How's it supposed to go? Yeah. Yeah, I use American tape.
I used to like that when I worked at DNA years ago, that was our go-to.
Yeah. That seems a really good product. I just gotta calm myself before I go in because I'm just pissed off.
Yep.
And then you know what I can't. It's not the guy's fault. You know? 400 grit sandpaper, 109 by 11 sheets, and $120. I'm like, give me a freaking break. You know? Oh,
I also buy my 9 by 11s off Amazon.
is that right? Was it a name brand or what?
No, I'll have to look it up. But you know what, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it probably lasts half the time of a good brand, but it costs a quarter of the cost.
Really?
So,
It's a big difference.
yeah, so it's still a win, even if it doesn't last near as well.
Right. Right.
Yeah, being self-employed, I'm gonna try and, I mean, just the cost of everything, it's so freaking hard to make a living now.
Well, yeah.
I will take any little advantage I can find.
Now, seeing I just do big projects, I just charge the customer.
Right.
But I mean, I have to tell them, hey, you go by the store, just walk down the shelf.
Yeah.
And you see the price on a gallon of putty.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know
They
that's.
come back, $145 freaking dollars.
Yeah, no, I will go and buy you know, some primers, some filler, a few things that Lord goes, you know. You walk out with a small box with a few cans and it's $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see how it's sustainable. And, you know, every guy in the back alley, there was some guy doing dents and shit, but now, guys gotta have a nest egg of $5,000 to go buy material and get it started, right?
Well, these big guys all get all the free stuff. Well, us little guys need it.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of price can we get the good paper for? They were giving away.
Yeah.
Plastic go back to the firewall or just the rad support?
I went back to firewall.
No firewall. And it would have been fine, yeah, that's what I like doing. Jeez. And you know, this paint goes on so nice. Yeah. I mean, shit. I could have it painted in 4 hours. You know, it's on the fill in 2 hours.
I labeled the
Oh,
Cassidy's pinhole circular 2000.
excellent. Excellent. Oh, yes.
You can barely read it because I wrote it with a pencil.
Yes. Cassidy's Pinhole Circular 2000. Excellent choice, man. Yeah, John. Impressive. I wonder what they retail for off the snap one.
Well, we're gonna come out with a line of those,
Oh,
special for our
hey, you probably never heard of that.
valued watchers, $16.95 a piece.
Wow.
Order now, and you get 2 for $38.95.
Wow, that's a great deal. Yeah, man. That help us in our marketing. That's great stuff. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy. Hey, man.
Working hard?
Yes, we are.
Nice.
Yes. Hey, man. You're looking for Mike Pro.
No, I just dropped off for him.
Okay. So what'd you bring?
Some rush order he had for some shirts.
Oh, shirts.
Yeah. What was it? We home for pizza probably.
Suspension.
Suspension.
Yes, we've been waiting for days.
Shit.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, it's probably the shirts he has to take off.
Well, we're good to go just out of that.
It's never been in it, but we're hoping it will be. 327, we're gonna fire it up, the car doesn't show up until Saturday. And we'll break it in, break it in on the weekend, and then, cause it's been sitting 3 years since it was built.
Shit, eh?
So, fire it up, break it in, it's all good. Then we're waiting for the trim at 5-speed, and the clutch and all that shit. And then we'll put it in the car.
Oh, he's putting a stick in this one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's actually a 4-speed car,
Oh, okay.
but we're going 5-speed truck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then it's driving across Canada. And then you see, I see how many days.
You sure putting them on, who's putting it across, not Mike?
Yeah, Mike and Matt.
Fuck, he just drove across Canada, didn't he?
He's what?
Didn't he just drive to Toronto or something?
Yeah, when I was going from Vancouver to Newfoundland, coast to coast.
Oh, right on.
Yes.
Yeah, stick out in order.
You know why? Now, if that motor doesn't work, we've got a high-end 3 motor from Chevelle. But it's like 480 horse or something. Oh, shit. This is the driver. And he doesn't even have positive.
Could be high gears on the back, so you get on the highway and go over.
He's got 360, 35.
Oh, that 5-speed, that was
5,
fine.
so we're cruising along at 60, 65, maybe going miles. This is really got a couple miles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, four.
An old Javelin, so I can gear it all wrong, because we have for 8 mile, but
Oh.
even the I drive the angle line, and I'm like, fuck, tank of gas, and I feel like I'm being hard on it.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, people are fucking up my ass and trying to get me over, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got it set up for driving. They're making rumors about selling it when he gets out there and buying something else to come back. So, we'll see, I mean, this was that one that got the car inside and walked him off the hill. So, yeah, the inners are all painted.
Well, that's good.
And we were supposed to paint it this afternoon, the whole crew's set. So my friend John came down from Cornell, and he's got midnight paint the body on his YouTube channel. He's been covering our ass the last
I
couple
came
of
to
days.
visit, I've been working all day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I just came down, I was sleeping all day. I'm like, shit, right on, John.
Oh, fuck. Well, I will hold you up. I know time's limited. I'll text Mike and let him know I dropped him off, and,
Yeah, he'll be back probably in an hour, maybe sooner.
well, hopefully you don't get sick, and hopefully everybody gets well soon.
Oh, we all got it from Mike, he's better now.
Oh, shit.
You bet. Okay, man.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
Take care. Yeah, he makes all Mike's t-shirts.
Oh, okay.
They got some special ones made up for the celebration. His friend Dave. Dave Edwards from Smithers. He worked here.
Yeah, that's what I was asking Cassidy, that she kinda told me.
Yeah, so, and he was hilarious, dude. God. Yeah, it's pretty good fun to work with. Yeah.
I need some water, but I'm afraid to drink that anyway.
You're smashing the car on your own. I'll come in for the glory. I'm gonna wrap paper on top here, cover up this, but the rest of it's freaking ready to go. So Kate, I'm gonna grab some 3-foot off the bottom of this thing and just cover that. car's all blown off, expertly masked up. Cassidy was helping mask until she decided to go home. She was under the weather. The last man standing was John, who's on vacation. So he finished masking up the car. And out of respect for that, he's gonna help me paint the car tomorrow. You hear a lot about what paint's better, what are you used to? John's gonna be using a gun he's never used, and paint materials he's never used. And he's gonna do one side, and I'll do the other. It won't be boring. But luckily he showed up to help us, or we'd be another 2-3 days behind. So tomorrow morning, we're gonna let all this settle down nicely, wipe the car down again in the morning, water the floor, and we'll be ready to paint. We're about to go in and spray. We all got knocked out with the flu. Cassidy left yesterday early. I finally got my ass out of bed and came down here. And he had finished prepping and finished masking. And I still feel pretty rough. So he's gonna help me spray this today, because without him, we would have been 2-3 days behind, and I believe we're down to 21 or 20 days. So we've wet down the floor. I'm just going to do a little more cleanup, and I'm gonna film the entire paint job maybe and see if that interests anybody. We're gonna put gray sealer on first. John's gonna be using a gun he's never used before, and a material he's never used before. He's probably painted 10 times as many cars as me. I should let him paint the whole thing. But, I always want to get better. So I'm going to paint one side, and he's going to paint the other side. Mike's out of town, so he was going to do the other side, so I'm hoping to pick up a few pointers from John, right?
I'll be Mike today.
Yay, there you go. So here we are, prepped, polished, masked, and ready to go. So I will turn this back on when we start mixing our sealer. It's an epoxy sealer gray. And then we'll spray that, wait our required time, and then start painting. Pretty excited about this. This has been a long freaking haul, and not many more days to get after it to finish it. This is the wrong way. You can see this in the light. I got a sag in my sealer. John's side is perfect, of course. I was spraying up here, pretty solid. And the blow by, I mean, it's a total pilot error. It shouldn't ever happen. I haven't had a run in sealer in a long time. So, I've got to sand that out now. I've been letting it dry for quite some time. I'll sand that, I'll fog over with a little bit more sealer, then it should be good. And one other part, the reason we wipe down a car before we paint it a lot of times is to make sure we don't have any contaminants and we get rid of all the fine dust. If you look right here, I hope you can see that in the light. These are what we call fish eyes. Chances are when I wiped it, I came down and went back, and when I went up here, I missed this spot. So that's from contaminants on the surface before I sealed. I now have to let that dry enough as well. So again, pilot error, but I'll take the time, pay the price, wait, be patient, to sand it out, and then it'll be a good paint job when it's done. It's worth fixing, because that would be a freaking nasty one in a paint job. 4-stroke SATA gun. I freaking love this thing. John is trying out SATA for the first time. See what he thinks of that. The paint he's never sprayed. Pretty excited to finally get the green on now, so here we go. Lines look really nice and straight. Pretty happy. John's side looks beautiful. Line's coming along nicely. So this is our second coat. Third coat, last coat. I'm actually going to do my pattern on the hood and the trunk 90 degrees. Just to make damn sure it's more of a drop coat to even out my metallics. Everything looks even, but just to be safe, that's what we'll do on the trunk and the hood. It's actually coming along real nice. Now here's our chance to screw up. It's looking beautiful. Everything about it. I like it. Now it's a clear coat. So, should be fun. Fingers crossed. We want to keep totally square to the panel. That's one thing to watch for. Turn your guns. Maintain nice even overlap. Even distance. That's what we're trying for. Number 2 coming up, looking pretty good. I'm going to slow my pace down. I like the way John's side is coming out, so I'm going to try that. dust additive I put in the paint. So in order to bury about 5 or 6 pieces in the hood and the trunk, we're gonna give it a 4th coat. And I'm gonna sand and polish, so that's all right. Going too crazy with your build is a bad idea. Rock chips become more severe, bigger. But we're gonna have to sand and polish some dust on the top. For the most part, it's freaking awesome. Real happy here. So this is the last coat. I really mean it this time. All right, fan shut off. Pretty happy. Wow.
It looks pretty darn good.
I said I was gonna slow down to get more coverage. What I did is I followed your method of overlapping more. You know, not moving as far on my next pass. And I got a much better flow. And I'm really happy with how it came out. We got a couple of dust nibs, but surprisingly, not as bad as we've had in the past. So it'll be an easy scuff to clean up. What did you think of the new paint?
The paint is awesome. I love the color.
Yeah.
It was pretty darn nice to use a high quality Seda paint gun compared to my low budget operation.
They are pretty nice. So normally I would start unmasking it, but seeing there's no issues with it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna force myself to walk out for another hour.
Yeah, it's totally sticky.
Because this is pretty cool. So there you can see. Now this is John's side. You have to admit, it looks pretty freaking good. There's a couple spots of dust. That's not, we just can't beat it in this booth. But it's pretty freaking nice. And the lines. Dig the lines.
The lines and the gaps are very nice.
Before Cassidy was under the weather, she spent some extra detail there and helping make this look good. And she did an incredible job on these lines. Especially the front fenders, which were incredibly difficult for some reason. So there you have it. I think we're at 20 days, 21 days. This sucker's gonna be driving. Cheers. Good morning. Here we are. Today's another day. I get to unmask this vehicle. Just so you know what I'm talking about. So the whole underside of the trunk lid is masked completely. And then the lip all the way around the front. That's dust in there, not overspray. But that's not a quick job. Taillights are all masked off from the inside. Just so you get an idea. It's a lot of freaking work masking up a car. But very, very important.